All right, no more of this messing around, drawing wacky stuff. It's just serious art learning. Art lessons time. How to ink.
All right, so this is our art school videos. I'm going to show you guys how I ink. These birds were drawn in another video on just how to draw simple birds. And so we're going to go through and ink these guys. This first section is just more or less the fine line drawings. So the fine line drawings, like ink happens in layers. The first part is the fine lines, and this is more or less just going over these and then erasing the pencil, and then we can do more fun stuff. So I'm going to do that part in fast motion because it's not that exciting. Okay, so I am back, and what I've done is I've just kind of gone over, kind of in a fine line fashion, some over the pencil lines. Now remember, you don't have to be a slave to these pencil lines. Like don't try to just go, just to follow them, just very slavishly, I don't know, some sort of like you don't want to just be like this, right? No, like, because then your line is dead. You don't want dead lines. Be like, you want your lives to be your lives. Well, you do want your lives to be alive, but you want your lines to be alive and full of energy. And that was a very strange concept for me whenever I was first beginning. But like you want them moving. You don't draw like, this is not architecture. This is fun drawing, right? We don't want to do it like that. Make them live. What you want, I'm going to draw this to kind of try to explain what I mean when I say shape. So with a shape, for example, we've got a ball, and that ball is wearing a party hat. All right. So we'll just have a party hat. Or it's just a horn, your normal horn. Or it is a peg leg coming in, right? Or maybe it's just a line, just a normal line. So what I'm going to talk about is what this shape means. So shape really is this little bitty piece, this little bitty little nugget of deliciousness that you put in on your lines, and it gives them more movement, it gives them more excitement. And so over here we're going to have this as my light source. It's the sun. And so that means that this side is going to be light side and this side is going to be dark. All right, so all of these sides are going to be the dark side, not in the Darth Vader style of dark side. I think I made the joke last time. The joke is tired. There we go. So when you first want to do your first thickness, just to give some indication of depth, you just do one side, right? This is the shadow side, the dark side. Cue dark side joke, but I'm going to not make it. So and that's possible, right? You could do that, but it's not that interesting. What you want is to add this little piece of shape. And so this little bitty guy right here is going to go, boom. This guy right here, it's just a little piece there, and it makes it flow. It gives it more movement. It gives it a little bit of shape. This one, because it's like a cone, or maybe like a traffic cone that's on his head, then we can also add that shape, just boom. Look at that. Wow. Way more interesting. Even this one, it's like if it's a horn, you can just go dink, like that. And 1,000 times more interesting, 1,000 times more interesting. maybe this horn has kind of this kind of texture. So, you know, elephant trunk, or maybe a worm, or some kind of segmented something has this texture on it. So with this, adding the shape piece, you just go dink, a little bit. You don't do the whole thing, you just do a little bit. Oh man, that's way more interesting, right? And then you can even give it more roundy shape and do it at the top if you want to, if you're nasty. So that's what I'm talking about when I say shape. So let's look at this one. I just give it its bottom shape. That's just giving it the basic thickness, the basic dimension. But then, what do we want to do with it? Well, we can say it goes this way, right? And then maybe we would erase the ball as part. But if the ball is attached to, maybe like for example, it's attached here because it is a part of some sort of mechanical something stuck on that ball. All right, so what are we going to do? Well, we're going to add a little bit of piece here and then just boom, like that. Boom. See that? Now that makes it way more interesting. It gives it depth, gives it interest because of added shape. So even if you just have a line, so like this is like an antenna, a whisker, even a kite or something. Like if you've got somebody like carrying a kite, or maybe it's flying a weather satellite, whatever, you can make this guy shaped as well. That even just makes a line look more interesting because it's got a little piece of shape there. And because, if I can say this 1,000 times, you would probably turn me off, but I would still say this. Drawings want things different. They don't want, if you were to have he's like, hey, I'm flying a weather satellite, right? Like I normally do on Wednesdays, because today is Wednesday, and Wednesday is my weather satellite flying day. And so my mom is like, Timmy, time for dinner. It's like, Mom, I'm still flying my weather satellite. And so little Timmy's down here, and he's all like, Mom. And Mom's all like, get inside. And he's all like, I'm flying my side. So you've got that. And that line is boring, but let's make it interesting. Give it a little bit of just this little piece here, maybe a little piece here. Line is way more interesting. Same kind of deal here with these guys. You just, boom. You just add little pieces of texture, little pieces of shape, and it will make your image way more interesting. All right. Shape, secret of awesomeness. Let's go back to this. So now I'm gonna go in and draw these guys, and I usually start from the left to the right because you know what I hate? My ink smearing, and that happens to me constantly. So we're gonna have the line, the sun is gonna, or the light source is gonna be coming from this direction because it's a Brady drawing, and Brady drawings almost always have the light coming from this direction, and I don't know why. So this little ball thing hanging off here, it's like, well, what the other thing is when you're making shapes, you can also throw in little bitty details, and these are the ones that are like fine line details. So I'm gonna have this guy come in that's it. Can you see it? I hope you can. So just a little bit of, and now that just gives an impression of some sort of little ball hangy thing. We don't even know what it is, but it's okay because that's what makes your drawings interesting, is that you don't have to define everything. You let it breathe. You let it be loose. All right, so I'm adding shape into all these little corners. And so that's because you don't want to add too much because these are feathers. And so if you add too much weight, then it doesn't look like a feather anymore. And so you just add just down here in the little crevices of the feathers. And there's a little, I want to add a little bit more texture. There you go. the same thing under here. And now I'm gonna, because it's the underside of the bird, I'm gonna give it a little bit stronger. See these legs here? I'm just gonna see how I just add just a little bit of shape. And that makes those legs look 1,000 times more interesting. Same thing here with his beak. I'm just gonna add a little shape in that little bitty corner there, boom. Way more interesting. And so you just pick little pieces to help define your line work. So that bird is probably pretty done. He's looking good. So let's look at the penguin. Actually, I didn't even erase the penguin. Sorry, penguin. We will erase you. Not like permanently, not like existence erase you, but you know. So same idea. This is probably a little small, kind of hard to see. So we're gonna add we're gonna make his belly hang over his feet. You know, draw a little bit of darkness in here, a little bit in that little shape in his wings, and then kind of on his back side, just giving him a little bit of shape. All right, let's look at this dude. So now this bird is on the beak of this other bird, so we want to for sure color in anything that's over the top of another, you know, like I'm gonna add a little shape. Boom. So that any object that is over the top of another object. So if we've got this, then right here, I'm gonna make that little line really dark so that my viewer knows that this thing is on top of this one. You know, and then his legs need to be a little bit more. So there are his toes. So here's a good spot because this toe is over his beak, and right there I'm gonna add some line weight and also a little bit of shape so it looks like it's over the top. Okay, line. I'm gonna finish this out with the feathers. All right, his belly. Now I'm just adding little pieces of texture in here, little bits of detail, little bits of shadow shape, that little like shape thing that we keep talking about, just to make it interesting. All right, and then now let's look at this guy down here. Same idea. I'm going to cut in because these are little ball hanging things. I don't know what they are. And because the light is coming from here, I'm going to do this backside, but not all of it. Just some pieces. Okay, here's another good example. This feather is over the top of this feather, so we're going to need to be sure and get in on these two places to make it look like it's over the top. So I'm going to do that with a little bit of shaping. See, it's not just a normal line. See how we do it like that? That helps it look like it's over the top. We're going to go over here to the back side. You know what? I don't think I even erased this one either. Oh well, too late now because I have ink on it. And you don't want to have ink on your face. Same idea here. Just giving shape. These little lines make your drawing so much more interesting. Even make your lines interesting. Okay, so I've got this beak, so I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna give it for sure depth in here, but then see that little spot here? I'm gonna go boop, that little piece right there, a little bit of shaping piece. Come on in, and then you can even sometimes just add a little like, you know, like you don't even know what that is, but it makes your drawing, you know, not boring, not the same, you know. And this cat needs a nose, so we're gonna go. Right, there we go. And Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Cool. That guy's looking good. My friend with the hat. Let's see if we can. So here's his hat. I'm going to go backside to make it, give it that shadow depth. Now I'm going to curve it under, but not doing the full thing. You know, and see that little bitty piece there? It's an angled piece, just like I did here. You know, so it's like, so I'm going to go here, but then I just make it like a sharp little angled piece, just like that. That makes it way more interesting. But it's got a string coming down, so I'm going to even do it there to just give it that piece, and then like that. So that even makes it look more interesting. And I'm going to say, oh, this is squishing my feathers. So that way now I can look like it's squooshing my feathers. All right, now these are the horns. Same kind of idea mostly as the hat, because whenever I was drawing these, I wasn't sure if this, you know, to be honest, I'm still not sure if this bird has horns or if this bird has 4 party hats on. It's tough to say, to be honest. And then, so we're just gonna add some feathers up in there. And then, so what I can do with these textures, I've decided, they're horns. And so what I can do with a horn, you know, I can do it in this kind of shape. It's kind of like your elephant, or your kind of like your classic unicorn horn, or a narwhal horn, or you can have like a sheep horn or something like that. And you have this kind of, like this is a good rhinoceros horn, things like that. So I think I'm going to do it that way. I'm just going to add a little bit of texture, saying, "Hey, it's cool. That's what, you know." And so now it kind of looks. This one I don't like as much because I curved it too much. These are like more straight up and down. So then, same thing. I'm just going to come and add a little bit of texture, a little bit of taste, in on these guys. And then a lot of times they have. So you just there. So now that is a horn. Feathers. Shall we feather? We shall, thank you. And just in these little pieces inside here, because they are, you know, we want them to feel like they're light and airy at the end there, you know, so we just only color it in here. Here's another good example of that. We're going to just cut in on that, just a little piece there. Makes it so much more interesting. And so here's like, these are triangles. You're like, I don't want triangles. You put a little business down there, boom, way more interesting. And then I'm gonna have his beak, boop, boop, boop. A little notch up there. See, here we go, boom. That little piece right there, that little angled piece makes his whole beak different. Now this piece here, this bird's got like a lip, right? And so I've drawn kind of a lip here. And so what this lip is going to do is this is kind of giving an illusion of kind of like this lip. And so I'm going to just do that. And that will help it look, it will give it that shape. So look here. We're just going to, that's it. And so that helps it feel like it has more depth. Here I'm going to do the same thing, a little bit of piece, a little shape in there. And yeah, so much nicer. So much nicer. All right. This guy, same idea. Little, just inking inside the valleys of the feathers. And then this one, same idea. I'm not going to go all the way up because it's boring. So I'm going to just draw in this little piece here. And I want one there. There we go. See, I can just add stuff because I'm the boss and I'm driving. I know where I'm going. I don't really. But that's the fun part of drawing. a little bit of, you know what you can do in this, and to kind of make his little belly thing look like it's got more depth, you can add little pieces of line weight in there as well. So even like this guy here, I can just go, oh, yeah, I like the way that's looking. You know, just add little pieces of line weight, and it will make it more interesting. Because that really is your goal, is you want your drawings to look interesting and exciting for other people. And you do that by making your lines interesting and making them alive. There we go. Because static here doesn't mean the stuff that makes your hair stand up, but it means the same. You don't want the same. You don't want the same at all, because that is not fun. Okay, so now we've got these little birds up here. So these are much more delicate because they are so much smaller. They are wee birds. And then these guys up here. But we still want to give them proper attention. All right? And then I kind of screwed up this section here. I don't know what to do with that. But you know why I screwed that up? Because I drew it with pen first. I thought, hey, I'm Mr. Billy Art Man. It's time to just draw with a pen first because I'm awesome. You know what? And I screwed it up. And I can't erase it. It looks like a mess. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Here we go. Branch coming off. Big branch. I'm going to do that little shape piece. Just to give it, oh man, that looks way better. That looks way better. It's just like, it's just a trick, you know, and nobody taught me that, you know, and I'm here to teach you that because it really helps because it makes your stuff more alive. All right, just about finished here. Okay, here, this guy is over the top of this one, so we're gonna do the same thing. And then this bird, see these birds are standing on, this guy needs a bigger toe over here, there we go. And he's standing on the branch, and so I need to make this part for sure darker. So I hope that you are enjoying these. I have more inking tutorials on my art school playlist. I've got inking tutorials. I also have a tutorial on how to draw holes, which seems strange, but I promise it's interesting. And I will continue to add new characters, how to draw characters, and then also how to do these techniques, like how to draw holes, how to draw mechanics, how to draw things so you can imagine more and like, hey, Brady, I want to draw a hat. How do you draw a hat? Good news, I'm going to have one that says how to draw a hat. So anyway, I'm hoping to develop that art school section. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up because I love feeling like somebody likes something I've done. And give me a subscribe and I'll do more. Take it easy. Bye.